Hey everybody, welcome back to Anime Sekai Podcast. I'm your host, Mikan, and I'm here with the wonderful.
Ichigo here. What's up, guys?
Hey, welcome back everyone, and any new
Welcome
people.
back. Thanks for stopping by and thanks for joining us. This week, we are going to be discussing our take on the famous Ouran High School Host Club.
I have to say, it's honestly probably one of the best shoujos ever written, in my personal opinion.
I mean, I am a shoujo fanatic, so I will say it's definitely one of the better shoujo anime that is out there. Would I give it the best title? I would probably say no, but I'm a little biased because that's mostly what I watch. So I know that there are some that they're better in
Better
a
story or
sense than
better.
Oran. Yeah. Like you can feel with the characters a little bit more than you can with Oran. But for those that do not know or have not seen Oran High School Host Club, Oran High School Host Club is the story of our main character, Haruhi Fujioka. She is a high school student who was given a scholarship to attend this high class, high end, fancy high school
Rich people high school,
and
basically.
very rich people high school. When I say they have money, they
They
have
have,
money.
they have like stupid money.
She is enrolled into this school and she is seen walking around in the very first episode in her regular plain Jane clothes, but she just kind of looks like any guy that just walked off the street.
She wanted a quiet place to study, so she goes to a music room, and then
Hmm.
there she meets these super good looking pretty boys, and the reason why ends up in the host club is because she breaks a very expensive, I think it's like a vase or whatever, and so
Yep.
in order to pay it back she kind of starts out as their.
She's considered the errand boy for the series. And in the very first episode, mind you, she is dressed like a boy from head to toe. So the assumption is that she is a boy.
Mhm. And like she's wearing these glasses so they can't really see her face, and later
Hmm.
I forgot what was the trigger, but she takes off her glasses and they see how actually she has a cute face, so they ask her to join the host club, so she becomes like a member, and
She
slowly.
becomes a member as a
Yeah,
male,
as a boy they still think, not some of
as a
them are
boy.
slowly catching on. I think it's in the first chapter in the first episode as well. There's like a light
They
bulb
all
scene.
eventually cap
Yeah,
up. Uh-huh.
but it's
Uh-huh. There's
funny
the
how
light
they.
bulb scene.
Yeah, I love that. I love the little light bulb going on like boop, and slowly one by
Well,
one
and
they figure out
it's one by
that she's
one
a
that they figure out, and it's Tamaki who is the main male
mean. Yep.
character. He figures out last. Honestly, I thought he should have figured it out first just by looking at her and
Oh,
his
really?
playboy
And yeah, he should
personality.
have that sense, that sixth sense of like
He should have
finding.
sensed
Yeah.
that.
So actually, one of the complaints I had about the story is I wish they would have elongated the time of each episode or each chapter. They would just allocate time where each character realizes, so it's a slower progression instead of in the first episode they all figure it out. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it would have been.
I get that, but I actually think it was perfect timing because it doesn't take that long to figure out that she was a female. My thing is, it was funnier to me in the anime. You've read the manga.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to read the manga, but I have seen the anime multiple times. It was funnier to me how, although each one of them would figure out that she was female, it took Tamaki the longest time to figure that out. And I think that's kind of what they were leading up to, is that that was the joke. He is the playboy, which you would assume that he should have figured it out
Yeah.
earlier or should have been the first one to figure it out. But in reality,
I mean,
he's not as quick
he's not all
to
there.
catch on.
He's
He's not,
honestly not
yeah,
all there.
he was,
He's very naive and stupid. Like honestly, he's like
yeah, I
literally
would call him
stupid.
very naive. So the other characters that you will see in Ouran High School Host Club, we've mentioned Tamaki, which is the main male character who is the, I guess you can say, ideal love
He's like the
interest
prince,
of
sort
this
of.
anime.
Yeah,
He is the
and he's the
prince of
main,
the story.
basically.
And then you have twin Hikaru and Kaoru. I love them. They are my favorite. Oh, I like Tamaki, but
They're
to
funny.
be honest with you, Hikaru and Kaoru steal the show.
They do. And I feel like they're a little bit
They really do.
more realistic in a sense of, I don't know, their mischievousness, and I love the whole like twin BL thing going on, like the boys
Hmm.
love thing, which was so funny.
They are the comedic relief of the show. Mind you, the whole show is a romantic comedy, but they are definitely the comedic relief. Even in the serious moments in the anime, those two are the ones that bring the extra comedy to a scene that probably didn't necessarily need
I
it.
feel like mostly they're just
Um,
making fun of Tamaki, like he's the butt end of the joke all the time.
he's the butt end of everybody's
Yeah,
jokes, but I still love him. Then you have Honey Senpai, who is a third year student, I believe, at the school.
and he's like a little
Who,
Lolita chibi cutie,
yes, he looks like a little kid
super cute.
unless you wake him up from his nap and don't
Yeah,
give him
and he's
snacks.
actually really good at martial arts.
Yeah, he's one of those characters that you just love to look at, but you don't want to get on his bad
Oh
side.
yeah,
Along in the senpai rank, you have Morty Senpai, who is childhood friends with Honey Senpai. Very silent, doesn't talk much. I don't think
I think
he talked a whole lot
I
throughout
think
the
he has
whole
like,
series.
I'm pretty sure he has like 5 lines in all of the anime,
So in 25 episodes, he had maybe 5 lines.
probably.
And they are all directed at Honey Senpai, where he tells him, no, you can't have snacks today.
Yeah, and he does talk
Or
to
he
Haruhi
tells him to
though.
calm down. He does talk to Haruhi a little bit, but really he is the
Oh
silent,
yeah, silent.
quiet
Yeah,
person in
I
the
think he's considered the wild
anime.
type because each of them, the host club members, they have a type or genre they're supposed to portray, and I
Hmm.
believe he's the they call him the wild type.
He's the silent storm, I'll
Yeah,
put it that way.
the little
He's the
stoic,
silent storm.
good-looking guy, I guess, supposed to be.
Hmm. And then you also have I'm going to say he is the back ringleader. He is the
Yeah,
one who is secretly running
he's the
everything. I
underground
don't say
king.
secretly.
I think Haruhi
He
says,
is the underground
yeah,
king.
she says, what is it? He's like the Kuromaku, like the puppet master.
That is Kyoya. Kyoya is the snarky, sarcastic student who is basically running the host club.
Mm,
He is also the one who makes the decision to have Haruhi join the host club in order to repay
I
her
think that,
debt
yeah.
to the host club for breaking the vase.
He's got that finance book. He's carrying around this book all the time, writing down secret stuff.
Yeah, he's the finance person of the host club, so he makes sure that they are never ever in the red. I would honestly love to have him as my personal financer.
I feel like he'd be terrifying.
I mean, if he was my personal financial assistant, I'm pretty sure he would probably tell me I need to stop buying essential things like water.
He would honestly tell you to stop buying anything. He says, food, you only need it like a few times a week.
Or just come in condescending like, you can't afford a butler? It's like, no,
True.
I can't. So can you help me so I can save my money? Then maybe one day I can
I'd
afford it.
just be
It's
like,
like,
work
well,
harder
if you paid for a butler,
if you pay for a bill. You wouldn't have to worry
that's
about
beside the
household
point,
chores,
Kyoya.
and then you can work harder.
Right. Kyoya would definitely work me to
Oh,
death.
yeah. Oh,
Straight
yeah.
up. I would give him all of my money and he would still work me to
Yes,
death.
he would.
He is definitely the puppet master, the main ringleader behind everyone. So, Mikan, who out of the guys is your favorite?
So my favorite to like watch was actually Honey Senpai. I just like his
Hmm.
voice and he's so cute. Like, and the things he says is just so cute. But character wise, I probably, so normally I don't like characters like Tamaki because they're kind of like obnoxious and annoying, but I think the way his character was portrayed was like perfect for the manga. It just worked really well
Hmm.
because you have Haruhi who is kind of very grounded. So I actually like him as well. But I think maybe my favorite character is, yeah, the twins as well.
I would say the twins are definitely my favorite. I like the other characters. Honey Senpai definitely drew me in, but watching it for the very first time without having any background Hikaru was the sole character that drew me into the story and kept me
Oh,
wanting more.
okay.
So in the anime, I was a little bummed out when Hikaru and Haruhi didn't really pursue a relationship, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. He was the one that I was rooting for.
Okay.
I like the other characters, especially Honey Senpai. I thought Honey Senpai was really cute,
Yeah.
but Hikaru was the character that really drew me into the story and made me want to come back for more. I feel like with Tamaki, his character was that generic, I am the prince of this story, and thus I will get the girl at the end.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, he's not everyone's cup of tea, which I totally understand. A lot of characters like him.
Hmm.
Usually you don't like it, but I feel because Haruhi, her character, in my personal opinion, she's one of my preferred heroines because she sort of breaks, I don't know, breaks character almost, and she's like the realist in the story. For instance, like when things pop out of nowhere in the host club, there's these like weird contraptions, or like they bring a beach, inside the school and whatnot. She's like, "What is going on? Like, how is this possible? Where did that come from?" Like, she's sort of breaking character, if you will, in a sense.
Hmm. That's what makes her character so great because she, compared to the everyone else in the entire school, did not come from a household of
Yeah.
money. And so she is looking at everything from a I can't afford this, or why does this school have this much money and is spending it on these quote unquote stupid resources when they could be spending it on other
Yeah.
things. And even the episode where the guys all go to Haruhi's house, they couldn't believe the type of house that she lived in. They were all very judgmental. I think even Tamaki, because in the anime, Tamaki decides he's going to take on a father figure role for her, which was
Yeah, I
weird
mean, his personality is really identical
to
to
me.
her actual father, so they're kind of similar.
Right, which I get. But I think when he saw the living conditions that she was in, he was really like, I'm going to marry you and get you out of this house and you'll be taken very well care of. Like, mind you, that episode, she was like, I'm actually okay.
Yeah, I think he had a dream.
I live just
I believe
fine.
before he went, he had a bad dream, and she was, like, living in this horrid shack or something, but he went there and he was like, "Oh, it's not too bad." But the twins, I remember when they actually went there, the twins were saying things like, "Oh, can you make us, like, tea or get make us food?" And I think Tamaki was like, "Oh, no, she's so poor, like, don't ask her these things, blah, blah, blah."
Here's how I see it. Tamaki looked at Haruhi as if she was Cinderella before Cinderella got her glass slipper in needing of saving. And rather than try to understand Haruhi's point of view, he was like, I'm just gonna save her because she can't live this way. Like I will not allow her to live this way. She didn't ask to be
Really?
saved.
I always felt the opposite. I felt like the twins were actually more like that, and Tamaki was like, "She's her own person, man," kinda thing.
I feel like Tamaki was the overbearing one. Like, she can't do these things on her own. Thus, we have to help her. When in reality, she was like, I'm actually doing just
Mm-mm.
fine. Mind you, the twins' input made it worse.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way: what Tamaki thought in his head, but didn't dare say out of his mouth, the twins would say out of their
Yeah.
mouth. And then Tamaki would have to correct them, be like, You're gonna offend her.
Yeah.
But mind you, he was probably thinking the exact same thing.
No, he
There
was.
are
They
several
were. There
instances
were,
like that.
like, almost ridiculous points, especially when they go to her house. They're like, "Oh, no, she can't even afford to make food for us," or something like that. It's like, "No, she's not that
Yeah.
poor."
She can't afford good green tea and can't give us green tea. I think Ouran High School Host Club is an amazing anime. It's got comedic relief. The main female character, you can really feel for her, which, if you compare it with other shoujo, I'll say a reverse harem.
There needs to be more reverse harms.
Ouran,
I'm just saying.
there
They're
are a
not
lot
there's
more.
not
There are a lot
there's not
more.
that many.
There's a lot.
There's not that many.
No, girl, there's a lot. There
Oh,
is a lot.
really? Okay, I'm
You
probably
don't
out.
watch shoujo like I do.
Yeah, that's true.
There are a lot. The difference between Ouran High School Host Club and other shoujo, where the main character is a female and all her love interests are guys, is Haruhi is not actively searching for love, if that makes sense.
Oh.
Even if you watch in the anime series, she's not necessarily trying to fall in love with any of the guys. Even as the story progresses, you can see her having some emotion towards some of the characters, but not enough to where it's like, I'm gonna love this man forever and we're gonna get married and live happily ever after, as you might typically see in a lot of shoujo where that main character has several guys and she has some sort of romantic experience with each of the
Mhm.
guys and is kind of confused in the sense of like, now who do I pick?
Yeah, I will say it's, like, very innocent, it's, like, rated G, especially the anime. The anime is, like, there's almost no like, love progression, you know what I mean? Like, relationship
No,
progression.
none
Yeah. Even in the
whatsoever.
manga, towards the end, they confess and whatnot, like, the twins confess to her, both of them actually, but Kaoru kind of ends up picking his brother over his own feelings. He even tells her, I think, he
Hmm.
goes, "I really like you, Haruhi, but I value my brother more."
Yeah, because Hikaru had such a huge crush on
Yeah.
Haruhi as
But
well. In the anime, it's only
yeah, there's
insinuated
no
that they
actual
have
progression of their relationships, yep.
feelings. Well, except for Tamaki and Haruhi. I would say in the anime, those two are the main
Yeah, main love interest. Yeah.
ones to be together. It was insinuated in the
Yeah,
anime that they got
because
together at the very,
yeah, in
very
the anime,
end.
they never, like, even confess or even, like, really say it, like, out loud, you know what I mean? It was kinda like, "Oh, I love her." He looked at the host club as, like, a family, and it's never
Right.
like, "Oh, I love you, Haruhi. I love you as a woman."
If you think about it, the host club acted as if they were a
Yeah.
family. And there were several times where Tamaki said, I'm the dad, Kyoya
Yep.
is the mom, Hikaru and Kaoru are like the
Yeah.
uncles or something like that. Honey Senpai, like they were all a family. They acted
Yeah.
as a family. And that is the difference between a other shoujo and Ouran High School Host Club is Ouran High School Host Club, the guys all knew each other. They were all close to a certain degree coming into the show. And they all, even outside of the school, their families somehow had a connection to each other. So they were stuck with each other. And it was really Tamaki that brought all of them
Yeah.
together and brought all of them into his family esque world
Yeah,
in order to
I agree.
create that
Yeah.
sense of family.
That's
That is what sets Ouran High School Host Club apart from other
mm,
shoujos, is that you have a sense of community within the host club
mhm.
that is almost too fragile that if a love interest starts, something's got to break.
Mm.
Like that family-esque structure that the guys held before Haruhi got there, and even that they maintained a little bit while she had started working for them and was contributing to their host club ideas or their host ideas.
Yeah, I mean, in the manga, they go over that of, like, how they didn't wanna towards the end, Tamaki didn't wanna break that family structure,
Mhm.
and also they were just in denial.
In the anime too.
Not in denial, they literally just didn't realize until really late in the game. Everybody else knew that Haruhi liked Tamaki and that Tamaki liked Haruhi. Everybody knew except for them.
They do
Oh,
that
yeah.
in a lot of shoujo. It's like the main female character doesn't know how she feels, the main male character doesn't know
Yeah.
how he feels, but everybody else
Yeah.
around them can see that they
Actually,
like each
with this
other.
one, I feel like as a shoujo and as a romance story, I feel the difference from other romance story is like you said, it's more like family based, but I feel like it's not really it's almost like not a romance story, which is kind of odd. It's just like a slice of life reverse harem that kind of squeezed in romance, if that makes sense.
It's definitely a slice of life, but it's a slice of life in the sense that there are romantic moments, but these characters who have zero romantic experience with
Hmm.
other people are trying to navigate their
Yeah.
feelings through this now familial structure that has been instilled, especially now that Haruhi has joined the host club. And it's so fragile that they don't want to break it. So they're just kind of oblivious to the actual feelings that they have going on for
Yeah.
one
And I
another.
feel like Haruhi, the one thing I do like about this story, and it's different from others, is I feel like
Mm,
it does break like the fourth wall because she embodies like someone reading it.
mhm.
What I said before, she'll be like, why is there a stage here suddenly? Like, why are these people acting like this? But I guess
It
that's because it's a
really
comedy
is.
as well.
Right. Did you notice the strong difference Haruhi was compared to the other females projected in the story?
I mean,
They
oh
were
yeah,
polar
she was,
opposites.
well, she was for one not really girly, and another, she was just not like into the guys. Like, she's just not.
She was girly, but even her dad said like she was kind of a little bit of a girly girl. But by the time she got to high school, where she decided to focus mostly on her studies and things like that, that she just was like, it doesn't matter what I look
Yeah,
like. Let me put it this way, the other females in Ouran High School Host Club give off that I should be the main female character. Where Haruhi, on the other hand, is like, I'm just here.
yeah, because she was like not interested.
I'm just gonna keep
Yeah,
going about my life. Yeah, like I'm not interested in this romance stuff. Y'all can
even
have
when she
that.
was in the end.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna keep
even when
doing
she
my
was in
thing.
love, it was like she was just not into the whole romance thing.
The anime did a really good job of portraying Haruhi as this girl who does not really care about her appearance. She just is coming to the school to study, get the best education that she can,
Yeah,
and get out so that she can move on and move forward with her life. And the progression that they gave her from when she first started in episode 1, where you see her in boyish clothes, she's starting to bloom almost like a flower that's slowly blooming, because by the end she was starting to wear more dresses. She, I don't want to say was solely paying attention, close attention to how she looked, because I think that was just part of her personality. She didn't care if she was in a
yeah,
dress, she didn't care if she was in pants. She just wanted to
yeah.
be
I
herself
mean, in
and
the
be
first
comfortable.
episode, she tells Tamaki, she's
But
like, "What's the difference between a guy and girl? Like, what's the point? It doesn't really matter."
mhm.
So she's kind of, yeah, she's kind of like,
Mhm.
who cares? Like, she didn't understand the whole thing of like, the
Well,
guys in the host club, and she's just like, why would you do this? Like, makes no sense. And I feel like as the story goes on, she's slowly kind of learns that, yeah, you can fall in love and you can, love someone and whatnot.
mhm. I agree. She was
Yeah,
slowly
I agree.
blooming,
Yeah, becoming a woman.
and the show almost made it seem like love will slowly change you to be, I don't want to say a better version of yourself, because I think Haruhi's character development was great throughout the
Mm,
whole anime, but essentially to slowly become the you that you were meant
hmm.
to be. Love will help you open your eyes and see the good and the bad parts of yourself. And that's one thing that I liked about Hikaru that he struggled with. If you noticed in the anime, that's what made him human to me, is because, well, both of them, Hikaru and Kaoru, they were by themselves. They only relied on
Yeah,
each other because growing up,
yeah,
nobody could tell them apart. Then you have Haruhi, once she's introduced, she's starting to get to know them. She's able to
yep.
tell them apart. And she's able to kind of bring individuality to the both of them. Hikaru starts falling in love with her, and his personality has a
Oh
shift.
yeah. And that's why I wish they would just remake the anime, because like following the manga, because honestly the character development happens really towards the end of the manga, which is not shown in the anime. The twins particularly, Kaoru's like, I want us to grow, but we have to grow individually. But we can do it together kind of thing. And there's like this whole thing about Hikaru finally realizing, and he like changes himself and whatnot. And honestly, that's one of the better
Mhm.
parts of the story. But I wish they would have had that in the anime.
The way that they set it up in the anime was like Kaoru realized Hikaru's feelings for Haruhi and decided to kind of pull back a little bit, but he was hesitant in the sense that Kaoru always looked at it as it's just the two of us. And it will always be just the two of us. We can't let anything or anybody separate us because it's just going to be the two of us. Whereas Hikaru is looking at it as, yes, it's always been the two of us, but we are still our own individual person.
The anime portrays like half of the manga, I would say, up to the halfway point. The ending, though, is the ending of the anime does not happen in the manga, for those of you who haven't read the manga. And actually, later on, what happens is Kaoru is the one who's actually self aware. He's self aware that one, he likes Haruhi, and two, he's aware that Hikaru
Mm,
is not self aware. Kaoru doesn't want to hold him back. He wants him to grow and grow on his own, but Hikaru is like still stuck in a state where needs each other. And it's really after he realizes one,
Mhm.
his feelings for Haruhi, that we can grow together but apart. We don't have to be the same person. We don't have to like hide from the world by ourselves, kind of thing. And there's a cute scene where he
Right.
actually changes his hair to like a
Oh, in
different,
the manga.
like black. I don't know, because it's black and white, so I can't really tell what color. But
Yeah.
like yeah, so towards the end of the anime, they have like different hair colors, like natural hair colors, not like blue and pink.
So then you can
Yeah,
tell
because
which one is
Hikaru's
which
like, oh, in
compared
order for
to.
us to grow separately, we should start with making ourselves different for other people to see, kind of thing.
Yeah. That's what makes this story so unique in itself, and it is still
Oh yeah.
popular.
So why doesn't anybody remake it like Fruits Basket? It would be so popular.
Well, Fruits Basket was made kind of in the 90s, early 2000s, and they're just now
Yeah.
remaking it. Whereas Ouran High School Host Club was later down the line. If Japan does decide to remake Ouran High School Host Club, it probably won't be for a little while if they decide to actually reboot it and redo it. Do you think Ouran should be?
Yes, 100%. I was surprised when they redid Fruits Basket. I get it, it's popular, but I was like, why
Mhm.
did they not do Oran? I feel like it's super popular.
Yeah, I think they should get a
I
full
think they
reboot.
can get a
I think
full
that would
reboot.
be nice. But
They
the
could do a second.
fact
Actually, reboot or second season,
that
I'll take anything. I will.
fact that Oran High School's popularity has remained at an all-time high, I still to this day would rewatch Oran High School Host Club as many times and would still laugh at the same parts, still be
They
shocked
do
at
it
the same
well.
parts.
They just do it
But
well.
they do it so well. With a lot of the other shoujo, I don't want to say they're not as memorable, but it's almost like it's a repeat of kind of the same storyline. Boy meets girl, girl falls in love with boy, or boy falls in love
Yeah.
with girl. They struggle a little bit and then they get together. With Ouran High School Host Club, yes, there's a struggle with boy
But
meets
I
girl,
agree.
girl
There's no like,
meets boy romance type thing, but it's a sense of everyday life.
I
'Cause
think there's
if
stereotypes. That's the thing.
you were to
Stereotypes,
put
but they are playing on it. And that's
mhm.
why it just works. They're not too serious. You know what I mean? They're not like trying to be so serious about being a love story or whatnot. It's just, okay, here's a bunch of stereotypes. Here's some funny plot line. Let me just, put it all together. And it just works.
I feel like they're trying to break down the stereotypes though, in a sense of this girl who does not come from this rich family. You would think if she's going to a school full of rich kids who have endless amounts of money and can do whatever they want with their money at any given time, you would think that character would either fight back, kind of like Hana
Hmm.
Yori Dango, Boys Over Flowers, where she fought back at the rich top 5 guys, or she would kind of pull herself back and be almost like a background character, only to get noticed by one of the popular guy characters. Like I said, guy meets girl, and then he takes an interest in her and starts to fall in love with her. In this case, she kind of messes up.
This was just more comedy and very lighthearted. So they basically just made fun of everything. Yeah. No, I really feel like the guys are very cliche type characters, but I feel Haruhi makes them
Hmm.
do things only they can do in a sense. And it kind of allows them to step out of that stereotype cliche, which is really cute.
She humanizes them in a sense of where the role that they have had to create and kind of pull themselves out of this character that they are portraying within the school is really good. She wants them all to really be themselves and separate themselves from the character that they are portraying when they're in the host club and performing their host duties, quote unquote. She is trying to humanize them in a sense that you don't always have to portray this character.
I feel like Tamaki was the one who brought that stuff out, even in
Yes,
Haruhi, because I feel like Haruhi was basically the stereotypical independent girl who's just, I'm doing fine on my own. But he basically broke down that stereotype of, oh, you can ask for help. I'll be here kind of thing, which is what I really liked about his character.
but I feel like with Haruhi, she was the one to kind of help
Oh, yeah.
humanize
The twins,
Hikaru and
for sure.
Kaoru in a sense.
As well as Tamaki, like, and his issues.
Hmm. It's a combination of both Haruhi and Tamaki. They work so well together to
Hmm.
humanize these other characters. Another
Please,
one.
somebody, some place pick it up.
I mean, even to this day, I'm still seeing memes for
Yes.
Ouran High School
People
Host
love.
Club. And people are now making, the popular
Oh,
Funko
yeah, yeah,
Pop
yeah. Yeah.
characters, the little figures. They have Ouran High School
Oh,
Host
that's so
Club.
cute.
Yeah. So, question.
Yes.
Who in your mind is best suited for Haruhi?
I would say Tamaki, but I actually preferred not Hikaru, but Kaoru to be. For some reason, his personality, I feel like just
Hmm.
they would have worked really well because Hikaru is a little bit more like childish. And I don't know, the way that Kaoru puts other people
Mm-hmm.
first and whatnot, although in the end he did pick his brother over Haruhi, which is understandable. But I don't know, I just really liked him. He was just more grown, I guess, than everybody else. Like, or out of the three guys that
Yeah.
were really into her. But at the end of the day, I think as far as chemistry goes, I
Yeah.
think Tamaki was the best. Who's
I
your, yeah.
honestly think because I saw the anime, they had such a strong connection between
Yeah.
Tamaki and Haruhi, yes. However, like I have mentioned before in this episode, Hikaru
Mm-hmm.
was the one that I was rooting for all the way. He was trying to become more mature for Haruhi. You could see the growth. He was
Yeah, that
like,
was a
it's
cute
not
scene.
always about me, and it's not
That was
always
so
about
cute.
how I'm feeling. I want to
Yeah.
see their continued growth. I want to see him grow and mature into the man that Haruhi, quote unquote, is meant to be with. I did like the relationship between
Yeah.
Tamaki and
I
Haruhi.
wish.
Not going to discredit their relationship. I think they had great chemistry.
You just
However,
prefer Hikaru.
I prefer Hikaru because I liked his growth. The world is not
Hmm.
as lonely as you
And I do
think it
wish in the
is.
manga they would have elongated the, oh, who's it gonna be, But they didn't. He literally
Mm-hmm.
confessed to her, and then I think next chapter she said, sorry, I can't. They didn't even give you a little bit of like a suspense. It was
Mm-hmm.
just so fast. And I was just like, really? That's it?
Well, in the anime too.
That's why they needed
Yeah.
to make another.
I get that, but the whole show is
Yeah,
not meant to revolve
yeah,
around romance. It's only a small part of the actual show. I feel like the show itself, it is a shoujo, but it is a slice of life shoujo with like a little bit of
yeah.
romance and comedy. That's basically what the show is about. It's not necessarily about who Haruhi ends up with. It is the growth that Haruhi has made from when she starts working with Host Club to now she's getting to know
Hmm.
the people that she is working with, to helping them realize a change that is needed and necessary in each one of their personalities, to, oh, I think I like this guy, but I'm not necessarily focused on this romance, to now I'm really starting to get into romantic feelings, and because
Oh, yeah,
she's
she is.
oblivious to romance the entire show. Even when the scene where they go back to where she meets up with her childhood friend, and her
Yeah.
childhood friend was like, yeah, I confessed my love to Haruhi a while ago, but
Wait,
she
what?
rejected me. And Haruhi was like, poker face, like, what are you talking
I
about? When did
agree.
that happen? Yeah. So you can kind of
Yeah,
see the character development with her where she's completely oblivious
yeah.
to romance. And now at the end,
That
she's
they don't cover that
slowly
in the
starting
anime
to
though.
realize.
And that's why I'm glad that she was actually the one who confessed to Tamaki first. She's the one who said, I'm glad that
In the
it was
manga.
her. Yeah, in the manga. Because I feel like that's when she truly realized and was like, okay, I do like this guy. They need to reboot. They need to reboot. Please. It's good.
Definitely in my top shoujo. I am hoping that they
Hopefully,
will
maybe in a few
reboot
years.
it.
A few years, please.
That would be
Yes.
nice. I'm keeping my
Same.
fingers
It's on the
crossed.
list.
Guys, let us know. Do you think Ouran High School Host Club is a classic shoujo slice of life anime? And are you expecting
Please.
this anime to get rebooted? I'm down for a
We should start a
reboot. If they
petition.
want to reboot it, I will watch. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us on this week's episode of Anime Sekai Podcast. We will catch
See
you
you next
again
week.
next Friday. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Anime Sekai Podcast. We hope you
Yes,
will share
please.
it with your friends. Thanks again
Guys.
for joining us. Bye, guys.
Bye.